I've been a VTuber now for about 3 years, and throughout my time, I'd say I've done one of the worst jobs anyone could manage at being an anime person on the internet. I have been mucking it up and absolutely not coming off like what most people expect out of VTubers. There was so many things about VTubing I didn't learn until I had already spent over $1,000. Yeah, like $1,000 on a live 2D model. Unaware of the other model options and what most VTubers choose, to get started. I just ran in there, decided, oh, this sounds fun, take my money. And at the time, though, I'm happy. Like, when I had started VTubing, I was really happy with it. Like, and for that decision that I made at that time, I am happy about that, because the real reason I needed a VTube model was, back then, I was stuck in a living situation where I wanted to stream consistently, as I had been for years leading up to that point, but no longer have my face camera on because I wasn't comfortable with the living conditions. And eventually I did become homeless, so I had to go on a bit of a hiatus. Very fun. Upon being rehomed like the abandoned lost puppy dog I am, returning to streaming, I didn't really plan any sort of debut. I just knew that the 80 viewer average that I had prior to being forced onto the hiatus was not going to return with me after being gone for 10 months. So, to top all this off, my live 2D model still to this day doesn't have legs. Just can't afford those. So, I've tried multiple times to get those legs funded. And well, it just seems nobody really cares to see them. That's alright. A few weeks ago, I found something that has changed my life. And it's the model that I'm speaking to you through to you today. Yeah. This program, it's similar to Vroid. It's free to use, intended for use of the avatars on live streams and YouTube content. You know, like, that's the whole reason MathsCause exists. So if you want to learn more about the free-to-use avatar, 3D avatar program, you can, like, create your own avatar, please check out the link in my description below. I made a video, like, fully explaining MathsCause and how I found it and what it is and everything. But anyways, back to my point. I have given up on traditional VTubing. I don't think I'm ever going to have a real debut. If I do, bless me. God bless me. Amen. I will be thankful for it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I don't know how people afford those. I became a Twitch streamer 6 years ago because I'm medically disabled, unable to work a real job. I'm stuck at home, and I love playing video games. So, and yapping. So, you know, like, here I am. And that's the thing, though. Like, that's it. Like, a lot of VTubers really don't seem to be gamers. I feel like such a sore thumb compared to most VTuber girls. It all makes sense to me now why I don't have many friends who are girly girls like me. They absolutely don't like the kind of games that I play. If you can find other VTubers who are not, I'm not already mutuals with them, on like Twitch or Twitter, please tell me, point me to them. Any girls who like World of Warcraft and Fallout and they're like sassy, you know, like me, I feel like I'm like sassy brat stall vibes. Hair flip, like, I don't know. But I also like these like games that are like, they're such guy games, I guess. I don't know. And it's just made me give up, really, trying to find other VTubers like myself. I'm just not a traditional VTuber. So, like, do you know how hard it is for me to go even 1 week without posting a photo of what I look like in real life on Twitter? No, I don't even hide my face or like anything like that. Growing up, I thought people who use the phone or their hands to hide their faces meant like they were ashamed or embarrassed. And I also think it's rude if someone tells you that you're beautiful and you say stuff like, "Oh no, not me. I'm not pretty like you are." Hee hee. Like, no. Like, whatever. I I know I'm pretty. Like, you are correct. Like, I don't know. I have smooth skin. I'm 5'3" with shoes on. I'm a small framed girl with a Coca-Cola shaped body. Like, yeah, I know I'm pretty. I'm not perfect, but like, I don't think I'm a supermodel, but right? Like, I'm conventionally attractive. I get it. So I'm just like not gonna, it's hard for me to like turn that down. I've just not been the kind of person who ever pretends. Never have been. And that's my biggest flaw as a VTuber. VTubers have to pretend. The entire point of VTubing is pretending. You create a character with lore, and you're supposed to act out the character in real time for people to interact with, as if they were able to type an anime character, you know, from a show they watch, but like instead it's you. No, I just decided, like, you know, I feel like I never really made the decision to commit to the bit. I know there's other VTubers too who like me, like you can't even try, right? And so even though I never sat down and, you know, said like, yeah, I'm gonna hide my face forever and keep my real identity separate from this character and give people this sort of fantasy personality mixed with like my own and attempt to not break character as much as possible. Like, it can't be me. It won't. Like, it just never will. I recently turned down a VTubing company looking to onboard new talents and give them like entirely brand new models. And then they also said like you'd have to take a 3-month class with them on debut and social media strategy. And then they would have me create all new fresh social media. I got through all their interviews and they did send me the contracts. Like, they sent me the contracts to sign. I turned it all down. I just straight up, like, I was just like, nah, sorry. Like, they were like, oh yeah, can you please sign these so we can like move on with the next step in the process? And I'm like, no, I'm not signing any contracts. I'm happy I got through your interview process and you really like me, but I don't like this. Like, maybe that's kind of mean of me to like even apply, and like I do understand VTubing, and it's just these people didn't care about who I was. You know, they only cared about a person that I could become for them, for their character that they would assign me. They didn't care to add any aspects of this character, of my own personality, into its design. Its design was already created. You know what I mean? Like, I did not matter. Like, if I wanted to act, I could call up my lifetime manager, who when I was acting and modeling when I was like 7 or 8 years old and I did a Hershey Park commercial, right? I could call her up. I have a lifetime manager and be like, I want to act and model again, and go like get a role in Hollywood. Granted, that'd probably be much harder than getting a role as like a company VTuber, but like that's just not what I wanted to do ever in my life. Even though I have the skills to do those things, I just don't want to. So like, I get it. I'm a fantastic content creator. I speak clearly, I read quickly. Not only that, 6 years in live streaming gives me absolutely unmatched experience compared to fresh creators. I know what it's like to have a chat filled with hundreds of people and interact with them while the stream continues, to have a great content cadence. And this is something that people, even years into live streaming, they don't learn. They constantly need some sort of schedule or someone harassing them, like their mods in chat or whatever, about what they should be doing and like how to stay on task. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm very self-motivated. I know any sort of agency, group, company, whatever, they'd not only be pleased, but lucky to have me, if I'd let them. VShojo just had applications open, or close rather. They were open, they just closed them, and I didn't bother to apply. Why? The path I'm gonna pave for my version of VTubing is gonna have to be wildly celebrated for me to choose to throw my towel in at this point. Because I'm in the mindset now, like what I bring to the table as a creator, it's so invaluable and unique. No one can fill the shoes that I am aspiring to fill. And that's why, like, the shoes don't even exist yet. The moment they do, I will be wearing them. Thinking inside the box has been one of my biggest enemies as a VTuber. So, I hope other VTubers and honestly, like, other aspiring creators, I hope y'all hear this message and be like, why do I have to color in someone else's drawing lines? We don't. The whole point of being content creators is drawing new lines of our own. I don't know if I've ever even looked into how to be a proper VTuber and if I would have ever been able to do it. If you don't have an extremely expensive model with some sort of magical debut planned out, I just don't understand how the bit even works. I find people's streams who, you know, like, they're a bit smaller, they don't have hundreds of viewers, and they struggle to maintain the whole VTuber persona when your real life is always in the way of being a VTuber. It makes things complicated. And I know people who do work jobs or go to college and then, like, they come home and VTube. I just don't know how they do it. But big props to you people if you're one of them. Like, I don't know how you just don't allow your real life to bleed into the act. But for me, I'm so mentally exhausted from trying to do that when I had to go to school every day as a child. So my brain wants to melt anytime at the thought of masking my true identity for hours on end. And if you're someone who's neurodivergent, listening to this, I'm sure you understand that. Yep. It's not something I wish on my worst enemy, constantly wanting to be yourself, but knowing if you are, there are negative repercussions. Oh, God. It's odd, but VTubing often has made me feel like this. Constantly. Isn't it crazy? Hiding my face? Making it harder to be myself? Because I feel like some people are like, oh, like, they hid their face and then it was easier for them to be themselves. Yeah, sometimes for me it's the opposite, and it's because I feel like there's been such a demand for a blueprint, and I just hope that people realize so many of us aspire to be our own concept, our own design. Like, really. I am the blueprint for me. I'm not gonna copy anyone else's. They've already been built and utilized for their intended use. I'm just getting started. And if that in some way sounds exciting to you, I hope to see you soon, like really soon. As soon as my ISP and power company promise me they fix my bandwidth and restore it to its previous strength before some sort of storm caused a power surge that has left feedback issues for weeks. So fun. I love being forced to just post YouTube videos and be a YouTuber since I can't even live stream on Twitch. Yeah. But yeah, you know, soon. I really hope to get back to it soon. But until then, I'll see you around. Cheers.